today I am going to do the Author Newbies Tag. I only recently discovered BookTube, and it was, well, I'll get into that, but I also discovered Authortube, and I will link to the original video below in the description. So the first question actually is, how did you find out about Authortube? And it was via BookTube, actually from the bookish pen babe. And I will link to her down below as well. She commented and said, hey, have you heard about Authortube? And I had not, and now I have, and I'm excited because I planned on talking about writing things anyway in my videos for my BookTube stuff, so can kind of blend it in now. Question number 2 is, what genres do you write in? So I have completed a novel, and the genre for that is urban fantasy, and I can't decide still if it's young adult or new adult. So that's urban fantasy. That's honestly the first thing I've ever written, though, that was any kind of fantasy or anything like that. I never thought I would write stuff like that. Most of the time it's fiction. I guess it could be considered contemporary or new adult or adult fiction is what I typically go for when I'm just kind of freestyling it. Question number 3 is, what is your preferred writing tense, point of view, and I think genre? Category of story. So again, this varies quite a bit as far as like the tense and the point of view. My first book that I have finished is first person, and it's kind of her telling her life story. So it's past tense, I guess she's saying, like, this is what I did. So that's that. And I don't really go for children's necessarily. Like I said, I don't know if this book I wrote is going to be considered like YA or NA, new adult. Definitely not adult. It'll probably be YA. Question number 4 is, are you a plotter, a pantser, or a plantser? So plotter being someone who plots out their stories when they're writing them. Pantser being someone who just kind of goes by the seat of their pants, doesn't have it plotted out, and then plantser is kind of a mix. I definitely would say pantser overall, particularly. I mean, I only have this one full novel that I have written, so that's all I can really go off of, and that was very organic and very much came absolutely out of nowhere, and it started literally just with the first sentence. That first sentence popped into my head one night while I was laying in bed. I didn't want to forget it. I wrote it down in the notebook that I keep next to my bed, and I wrote a story from that. As I've gone on, I do get ideas that I need to plot out, like, okay, when is that going to happen, yada, yada, yada. But it's very fluid. It changes a lot. I am not one to do outlines, and that's probably like sacrilege or something. I loose outlines. So probably a plantser, which I feel like most people are. Sorry for my hair. My AC just kicked on. Oh, it's great. It's right there. So we'll go like this, I guess. Question 5 is, are you published, self-published, or yet to be published? I am yet to be published. Working toward becoming traditionally published. That's what I want. I am not opposed to self-publishing. I don't think there's anything wrong with self-publishing at all. It's a smart way to go a lot of the time and for a lot of people, and it can really work out. Personally, I really want to try traditional publishing. Being a writer has been something I've literally wanted my entire life. And I think it's almost like the challenge of it I want to overcome, if that makes sense. But at a certain point, if it's not happening, I still want my story out there. So I'm definitely not opposed to self-publishing. Number 6 is, what publishing company or agent are you represented by? Or if you're not yet, who is like your dream publisher or your dream agent? I don't think I have a dream publisher. The one that wants to publish me and will take care of me as the writer and represent my work well. That's the dream publisher. I don't know who that's going to be. And as far as an agent, I have queried a lot. A lot. And I have come across a lot of agents where I read their kind of intro and what they're about and what they're looking for, and I'm just like, pick me. I can't remember names right off the top of my head. I've got a whole list. Number 7 is, what Authortube related videos can we expect on your channel? I definitely want to do kind of a, my current work in progress. I want to do, introducing my main character, other side characters, that kind of my writing process, my writing journey, tips and tricks or asking for suggestions, stuff like that, definitely. I mean, I'm sure I'll come up with other ideas or see other ideas or tags on Authortube, and I'll be more than happy to do those too. Number 8, when did you start writing? Literally before I could write. When I was like 4 years old, I couldn't quite yet write or read myself, but I already was wanting to tell stories. I have little books that I made just, at home on paper that my mom and I, bound together with like string or whatever, where it's my mom's handwriting, but my words and my little drawings, my little stick figures and stuff. I was just dictating my stories to her to write down because I couldn't yet. Number 9, what was the first story you ever wrote? On that note, I don't really know what the very first one was because I was like a toddler, but one of them that my mom does still have, which is one of the earliest ones, it was a little book with my little pictures about going to the zoo with my grandmother, and I think also like the fair or something, because one of the infamous in my family pictures is me saying in the book that I won a bunch of tokens, I think from the fair or something, and it was like 62 tokens or whatever it was, and I literally drew out this little coil, and it's 62 little squares that are the little tokens. So yeah, that was probably one of the first ones though, but I don't know if it was actually the first. Number 10, what authors have inspired your writing the most? I mean, picking a few names is, honest to God, really hard because I have always read so much. When I was younger, without getting all into it, I'm not a religious person, but growing up I was very much involved in our church twice a week, blah, 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 very much a little, good little Christian girl, which is fine, whatever. But I was obsessed with Jeanette Oke books. Like, I loved them. Like, they were also, excuse me, interrupting. You okay? Are you mad that I'm not talking to you? Anyway, one time I wrote her, like, I owned a bunch of her books, I still do. I wrote her a little fan letter, right? Just because I loved her so much, I wanted to tell her. And she actually wrote back to me, and I mean, it was like a handwritten letter, and it could have been from someone else, I guess, but I don't think she was like such a big author that it's out of the realm of possibilities that it was actually from her. But it was just very encouraging. I was, in middle school, so it was really cool for me to have this author like telling me to keep at it and whatnot. So I feel like that influenced me a little bit. But as far as like writing styles and everything, I mean, there's just been so many that I can only hope to emulate, I guess. So that's a really hard question. Number 11 is, do you schedule your writing sessions or simply get to writing when you have the time? I do try to do daily writing, which could just be real quick in the morning before I'm, heading out for work. I would say it's not necessarily scheduled, but it's always in the back of my mind, like, I need to write a couple of times this week. Like, I need to work on my book at least like 3 times a week outside of my regular full-time job and exercise, which is important to me, and spending time with my boyfriend and having a social life and reading. And so I do have that always in the back of my mind. It's not necessarily like Monday at 6 p.m. or any kind of schedule like that. It probably should be, though. I'm just bad at sticking to schedules like that when I make them for myself, and then it's discouraging. Number 12 is, do you write with a computer, a typewriter, by hand? Do you do kind of a combination? And where do you write? Typically, I'm writing on my computer. That's where my book is, and it's pretty well finished at this point, so that's usually what I'm editing, kind of final things. It's like it never ends. I always think of something that I should change or add or remove. But yeah, typically on my computer. I do own a typewriter. I use that sometimes more just for fun, for writing letters to my boyfriend or typing out a poem I really like, something like that. And I do handwrite a decent amount, more for my daily writing. When I first was working on my book, I did a lot of handwriting. Like, all of these are filled with notes and different scenes I was thinking about adding or did add, information about the characters, information about the places, etc. For my book, all of these. So number 13, final question, is what are you most looking forward to now that you're a part of the Authortube community? I'm most looking forward to just the community of people, I guess. Finding like-minded friends that are working towards similar goals that I am, if not the exact same goals that I am. I do go to a writing group occasionally. Admittedly, I haven't gone in a really long time. And even when I was going, I wasn't going consistently. So, yeah, I'm excited for that, definitely. So, but ultimately the goal is just kind of to be part of the community. Oh my goodness, this little baby cat right now. I gotta show you this. Hello, ma'am. What are you doing down there? Oh yeah? She is silly. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Really appreciate it, each and every one of you. I know there's not many just yet, but I still very much appreciate it. I've felt very welcome to the whole BookTube and Authortube community, so I'm really looking forward to getting more involved and posting more videos. I definitely have a lot planned, so subscribe if you feel so inclined. Like, do the notification bell also if you'd like. But I will be here posting, so until next time.